Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Whispering Palette. Today I just want to do a very easy watercolor painting in loose style. Um, I had done one video before, but that was very quiet demonstration without any instruction, and one of my followers asked me if I can provide more instructions during the painting, and I'm more than happy to do that. So I'm going to repeat that painting, and this time with some instruction, a step by a step, because sometimes I think just demonstration and videos are enough without saying something. Some people don't like talking. I like talking, but some followers and some YouTube watchers say that, can you just do the painting and don't watch? I mean, don't talk, or can you do just the painting with the music or with a quiet or silent? So because of that, some of them my videos don't have any instruction on them. But today I decided to do another one, repeat that, and just a step by a step explaining what's happening in the painting. So yeah. Um, That's the reason I decided to repeat that painting. This is the painting that I did before, and as I said, one of my followers requested to do this painting again, but with instructions. So I may put it here if you want to see it. Just and this is the gold mission palette today I'm using. This is a Korean watercolor brand, Gold Mission. It is a very good quality. And for mixing palette, I'm using this paper, which is very easy to use instead of using this palette. Um, yeah, I think this one is more accessible for me and easy to move, but accessing this palette here is not easy, so I'm using this one. And the painting I'm doing is a flower, kind of a flower in the glass of water. This is, and it is, as you see, it's a very loose style flower. It's not that it doesn't have very defined edges, and I love when watercolor painting, when colors bleed into each other and they create some happy accident which is out of control. I love that. All right, so let's get it started. I'm just moving the camera to have everything in the shot. Okay, now you can see my palette and the model, and I'm putting this mixing paper here, which is very handy, and we need a tissue. And for today I'm just using this brush. The only brush I use it most of the time is the 1/2 inch brush from NIF, and it's called dagger brush because if you see, it has an angle here, and this brush is very good for flowers actually, and especially for leaves. Yeah, you will see how I use it. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so I only um, yeah, because some watercolor artists are hyper realistic or realistic artists. So my style is not that. My style is loose watercolor style, which every beginner can start it right away. Because if you want to be a hyper realistic or realistic watercolor artist, it takes ages and it takes time. And because when I started watercolor, I was not that patient. I just wanted to get a result quickly. So because I just wanted to paint something quickly, and I found out that the loose watercolor style is the best one for me. Okay. Um, and as I said, because I'm doing the loose watercolor style, so I just spray my paper with water. Okay. I randomly wet the paper. Okay. So just looking, where was my painting? I think I lost my painting. I should find it. a glass of water with um, okay, here it is, a glass of water and loose watercolor, leaves and flower. All right, I start with a light um, layer of the opera pink. Look at this, very light layer, and actually, as you see, the mixture is watery. I can say it's 10% color and 20% water. I mean 90% water, sorry for that. Yeah, it's too watery. And I just randomly put some stains, and because I have some droplet on the paper, in some areas you see that the color spread. In some areas, because paper is wet, is not wet, I have some hard edges, and it gives my painting some interesting shapes, because I have some hard edges and soft edges. All right, so we continue adding some more stains. So this painting is like putting the stains. And I would suggest, when you want to start watercolor painting, don't be scared of the result, and never think about um, the result. Just enjoy, and just be patient, try, and this is the only way you can get experience and understand this medium, because this medium is not easy to work with. At the same time, it can be very enjoyable, and none of the painting medium um, are that enjoyable. So I put the first layer, and then I start putting the second layer. My second layer is a bit darker color, and it has more definition. So I have thicker color, less water, because I want to get some different definition. And if the mixture I'm using this time is too watery, it gets, because my paper is wet, it gets spread everywhere and it ruins my painting. So be careful. For the next layer, you should use thicker color, and I do some definitions like this. For example, some showing some petals maybe. So as I said, watercolor is building layer upon layer. So you should be very patient. And because your paper is wet, always have a tissue and get rid of extra water on your brush to get a better result. Yeah, okay. And always try to enjoy. Don't think about the result. Don't get stressed out. Don't be scared. And whatever it turns out, I promise you, it turns out something beautiful. Okay, so this is my flower. As you see, I have some flower, and then I can put the color starting from very light green to build up the leaves. But as I said, I always tell my student start from very light color, because in watercolor we always start from light. Do you know the reason? The reason is that if you put the dark color right away from the start, then you don't have the opportunity to create some beautiful textures or to do negative techniques. I will tell you how we do negative techniques now. Okay, so as I said, I start with very light color of the green, and I just try to put some, this is positive technique leaf. Positive technique leaf means I draw a leaf but my brush. This is positive technique. Look, I use the brush side, I rotate it, and then I have a beautiful leaf. Maybe here, another one here. But let me show you how we do negative technique. So again, I need some colors like this. I put random colors, and again, these random colors were with light green. Now I go to the darker green and thicker. When I say thicker, it means less water. And it has less water. So this mixture was like a tea consistency, but this one, the new one, is thicker, like maybe cream. The reason I'm using a thicker color here is that because I want to do a negative technique leaf here, and if this new color is watery, it will spread everywhere and it doesn't allow me to do what I want to do. So it should be very thick color. Okay, I will tell you. And now for negative technique, look here, I have some green stains here. Now I'm going to make a very beautiful um, negative technique leaf. How? Okay, this is negative technique. Negative technique means you make a leaf by putting dark color around the light color. And I can draw a dark leaf here and then a dark leaf here and a dark leaf here as well. But look at this beautiful leaf I have between the darks. So this is called negative technique. Let me make another one here. This is negative technique. Okay, I put dark color and then we have a beautiful leaf here. Another one here. This is the beauty of watercolor. So I have dark leaf, I have light leaf, and even under this red petal I can add some darker color to present shadows. When you have, every painting, regardless of the medium, doesn't matter if it is acrylic, if it is watercolor, you need light and shadow. So because we have, imagine we have the source of light from here. So if the light is shining from here, so you need some very light highlight here, and then because we don't have any light under the leaves and foliage, so we need darker color below. Even I go darker with very dark and thick green, and now what I want to do, I can do a magic. And you know what that magic is? I want to create a stem here. See, I'm with negative technique, I make a stem here, and even I can have a stem here with negative technique. Later when you watch the video, you can always zoom. You can zoom on your iPad or mobile phone and see the detail later. So now I'm doing the glass of water. So let me bring up my model. Okay, this is my model. Now I'm doing the glass of the water. I grabbed some very light blue, and I didn't do the sketch. I'm just guessing. Okay, my water would be here, the glass would be here, around here. Just drawing around the glass, maybe here with blue color, and it's very watery mixture. And then I soften these edges. I add some clean water, and adding clean water to the edge, let the paint run, and the paint moves and it creates the impression of like it's a water here, glass of water. And this edge as well, I need this edge to keep the surface of water white. Later when this glass of water, when it gets dry, I can extend these stems to the glass. Okay, now I continue with putting some random leaves again here and there. Again, I tell you, this is negative leaf. Sorry, positive leaf, positive leaf. When we draw the leaf with our brush, this is positive, positive. Okay, and now if I want to do a negative one, I just have some tissue, get rid of extra water, and with very dark color, I make a negative leaf here, see, by adding very dark color around, or maybe another one here. Okay, and when I do this, I always can wash my brush and with clear water just soften some of the edges, and it creates some texture for me. Okay, now I think I can do the stems, some random shapes, some leaves maybe in the water. And as I said before, again, I will repeat it. The beauty of watercolor is having dark and light areas, dark and light shapes. So because I have, the bottom of the flower in the glass is always dark, so I just add some very dark shapes here. But still I will, because this is edge of glass, so I will preserve this white for the edge of the glass. And this is a negative technique leaf here for me, maybe a negative technique leaf here as well, a dark here, adding some darkness around my shapes. Now let's go back to the flowers. So for the flowers, okay, now my flower surface is a bit dry and I can add more details. So with the point of my brush, I go to the color and I grab some thick color, and with this thick color I try to have some petals, maybe one here, one here, and I repeat this process. Maybe this one is downward, because you shouldn't be like having all the flowers upward. You should have different rotations. This is the secret that makes your painting beautiful. If it's all of them are like uh, looking forward or up, top, from the top view, it's not good. So always try to have different directions in your flower. Okay, and this one here, and this one maybe looks upward. Okay, so you saw that. First I started the flower with very light pink wash. I put the stains and then I let it dry, and I add another layer of darker pink. And how you can make darker pink, just add a little bit of red to your pink and it will get darker. Now what? So still I want to have a very dark point inside my flower, so I mix red with brown and I just have a little bit of darker color to the center of flower. And now I wash my brush, I dry it, and because I have this dark here, with the tip of brush I just drag the paint out and create some lines. I hope you can see it, but later, as I said, if you zoom in your iPad or YouTube is very good because you can always zoom and see the details. This one is upward to the, okay. So I can zoom in that you can see more details, or bring this up, with some stains we just created this very beautiful painting. And imagine you can do this always on very large paper, and if you do this painting on your on large paper, they're always beautiful to be framed and to be hanged, and it's just very shiny, and it can be get very good view to your space if you want to hang it. So You always can continue working on watercolor painting. It never ends. For example, I can add some details to my leaf, like adding these veins. And maybe one flower is falling on the table or desk here. I just spray water, spraying some water here, because now I want to have a very loose style flower here. I just want to give the impression that a flower is here with wet in wet technique, and then I add some green, like it has some leaves on the table here, and then the surface of the table with brown color. It's like it's a wood table, and because I have too much water here, I just get rid of it with tissue, and again adding the brown color. Yeah, this is watercolor painting. Very, very enjoyable, because I think none of the mediums in other mediums like acrylic oil give you this beautiful happenings, and almost it's out of control. And every time you want to create a painting, it's much different with the previous one. You see, for example, I wanted to create this for one of my YouTube watchers. She requested to have the painting with instructions, and today I did that. But look at it. This one is really different with this one. You never can have two similar watercolor painting, and they always get different. And the reason is that every time you paint, accident happens which is out of control, and you never can have a identical painting each time you do the painting. Okay, so if you enjoyed my video, please give it a thumbs up. It's just very inspiring for me, and I can create more videos and live demonstration for you. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and as I said, if you enjoyed, share with your friend, like my videos, and I hope you enjoyed this demonstration. I almost have lots of videos in my channel. Some of them have verbal instruction. I talk in during them. Some of them are quiet, and you can just sit back and enjoy. And never miss the opportunity to watch those beautiful videos of watercolor painting, because watercolor is magical. It's really magical. It gives you joy. It's very relaxing, and when you are stressed out, it's very helpful. All right, thank you very much for watching my videos, and see you next time in my other live sessions. Bye.